Welcome to the next part of the painting test for gold paints. This part is going to be extremely anticlimactic and kind of a letdown. Some things are going to work, some things will not work, but Winsor Newton, Rust-Oleum Crystal Clear Enamel. I'm going to spray each one on the board, and it's going to be an immediate, instant result. We're going to see if it clouds instantly. With the way these work, it takes no time at all to bond. It may take time to dry, but it takes no time at all to bond. And that flat layer gets interrupted very quickly. So, let me grab one. All right, there it is, all nice and dry. And as you can see, the milky, this is the yaw clad, as you can see, the milky texture went away. And it's no longer foggy. And each one still retains the shine, as you can see in the reflection. All right, so everything is still shiny. There is some physical difference. Like up here, this is the acrylic spray paint, and you can see physically where I did the paint, or the testers and the all clad. There's a physical separation. The rest of them, not so much. So that is a first result of our tests. All right, so let's get one labeled. What do we want this one to be? This one will be the final varnish. If I could write. And the other one will be the crystal clear enamel. Yeah, enamel. Montana Gold. Testers. Krylons. The only Krylon I used. Wow, that Rust-Oleum Bright Coat really is a Rust-Oleum Bright Coat. So that'd be Rust-Oleum Bright Coat. RBC. Design Master is the last one, and the one before that is the Rust-Oleum Metallic. Alright, so that's it. Now I gotta do the same thing to the other one. It's the same order. There's a tiny bit of concern in here. The overlap right there. That looks like it's an improvement on that overlap area. It's much shinier. I guess that's indicative of just doing two coats, but they were done wet at the same time, so maybe a thicker coat. So one might ponder if I did a coat that's too light on some of that. Well, again, that's not the point. So this is not a finish coat, but that is a note for the future on how to treat it for finishes. All right, you ready? I'm ready. You ready? Let's go. Well, here it is. The paint isn't even dry, but you can see for yourself where the dividing line is. All clad, nothing, metalizer. All clad, nothing, metalizer. This is the Design Master new paint that I found, and that's the Montana Gold. Now, this is where things begin to get interesting. It is approximately 4 hours later, so this has had plenty of time to dry well enough that I could touch it. I've had lunch, and I feel better. And here, you should be able to see the divide. So here are the results after the drying. Montana Gold hates enamel. Just doesn't like it. With the all-clad, it makes a nice color. All right, so here we go. The final verdict. The trick is, this is the untouched area. So I'm comparing the difference between this and this and this and this. And almost down the line, with very few exceptions, the all-clad is superior on both coats. So, bad orange peeling on the Montana Gold, even with the metalizer. With the all-clad, it has a unique texture. Same thing with the testers. It made a unique texture, a little bit lighter. These are a little bit duller, so it sort of saved it. But that tester's enamel can, I wouldn't even put a clear coat on there. I just put it on there to test. So this is the Krylon, and it's turned it quite yellow, where these are greenish, dark greenish, nasty colors. But you can still see the flakes in there, but they're all randomized now. But the all-clad kept them less randomized and more flat, so it was an improvement. This is the bright metallic, and this one was the green can. And this one was that weird gold McCann where it just was a failure across the board. With the enamel, the all-clad made some weird orange peeling texture where I'd say that's a no, but it sort of worked. With the metallic color, there's some flaws in this, which I think are from not enough coats. I think I know. I did these all in one coat, where I'm thinking I should have done two. And that probably would have helped out a little bit with some of this texturing on here. That's for later tests. All clad on this side, testers on this side. I almost thought it worked really well on some of these, because this is the gloss varnish, but it's the same down the line, especially the Montana Gold. This one, it is perfect. There is no real discernible fading on there, and it is exactly how it's supposed to be. You can see the hard line divisions on there. The rest of these, it turned them like this muddled color. And it tried to do that with the enamel, but it just didn't work. So, long and short of it, when I do foam work, I'm going to use the Montana Gold, or silver with all-clad every time, and it will come out very good. It will stop dulling like this. Now, as far as a good paint on the enamel side, I am torn between the two Krylons that I had. The bright can and the metallic series, that's the green one, that's the not green one, had some very interesting effects on here, which I'm thinking maybe because it was one coat. I'm used to putting metallics down in one coat because there's never really a need to put them down in two coats. So I'm thinking maybe now that there's a reason to do that. But the rest of these, that gold can is just weird. As long as I don't coat it with anything, it looks like it's fine, but once you coat it with something, it's goofy. Incidentally, it's the same color as the tester's can of gold. So, the Krylon is a funky green gold color, where the Rust-Oleums are an actual yellow gold color. But remember that Krylon was also brass, so that may have something to do with the color difference. So I'm not going to take this as a color sample test. This is only a finish sample test. And down the line, all clad except for Krylon, which I can't even see where it did any good on the Krylon at all. Period. Screwed it up across the board. This is the gloss varnish, so it's kind of soft, tacky. I don't know how to describe this. This is for soft material, so it flexes real well. This is what I'd use on foam. So Krylon, right out. The bright coat, oh yes, that is great. So two great successes on here. The Rust-Oleum bright coat and the Montana Gold with the all-clad are exactly the way I want them to be. The metallic series is on the border. I wasn't 100% on it because when I compare these two, these are muddled, very muddled. This one is not. A lot of what I'm seeing also is the overlap, because that is two layers. That's this layer, the Krylon, and this is the bright coat on top of it, and then it's just the one layer. So there is definitely something to say about two coats on there, and I think that's why this looks so funky. So in the all-clad and then the enamel was strong enough to go through the one coat, and I need to do it with two coats. So that's another thing that I've really got to remember to take from this, and I've probably said it once before because I'm surprising myself and proving it to myself. Two coats are very important when I'm doing the final coats. So these two, and I will link them in the description so you can know where to buy them with the all-clad too. The Metalizer is not doing the effect that I thought it would, and it is barely doing anything on the enamel side. I can see a slight difference. It's not great. So I had to really get in there, and this is the same thing. Two coats better than one coat. Two coats better than one coat. And it works well enough, but I'm just going to have to test it with two coats next time. It almost worked with every single one of them on the enamel. So that's with the all-clad aqua coat, clear coat, not with the straight-up clear coat, which doesn't take 8 hours to dry. So I'm wondering if there's going to be a further difference from there. So looks like we're going to do a part 3. When I get the all-clad clear coat, I'm going to test using the same color swap, just like I did with this one. And I'll test it with enamel and the lacquer coat to see if I get a different result. So I'm doing the casual lean now, and what I'd like you to take home from this is I like to do experiments like these for cosplayers like you or anybody else that may come along, because there's a lot of questions out there that we really don't have answers to, and 99% of the time the answer you're going to find is, well, you need to do a test. So why don't I do a test? Well, the reason why I don't test more often is because I had to buy those cans of paints to test them, and I'm not going to be able to use them for what I was initially going to use them for. So I've got, as you can see, at least 3 cans of paint that I'm not going to be able to use to the same degree that I'd like to use. At least not for the projects that I have directly in front of me. What that means is that's wasted money. I don't want that to be wasted money. But you can help me not waste money by doing these experiments so you don't waste money, and I could do more experiments for you, and ones that you specifically request if you follow my Patreon. Yeah, I said the dirty P word. Nobody wants to follow or give someone money that they don't think deserves it, but if you think this is worth something and you want me to continuously improve on my video editing skills and continue to do this, then Patreon's where to start, because we know with what's going on with YouTube, I'm not going to get any money from YouTube. I still make cosplay pieces, so you can buy something from me from my store, canesarmory.com, and those are the 2 best ways to support me. Well, also liking, subscribing, turning the bell notification on so that you know when this video pops up or any others like it, and spreading the word that I'm doing these things. That's another way to help me. Share this video.
Oh, oh, Merry Christmas.